and welcome. Welcome to the Arts Council of Surrey Community Gallery here at the Newton Cultural Centre. My name is Wendy Mould. I am the producer of ACS Gallery Talks. I'm here today to introduce you to our featured artists for February, and POLKOVNICHENKO. Works by Anne are here until February 28th. You may view her work online at the Arts Council of Surrey.ca or in person here in the gallery. Anna's show is called Healing Abstractions. Anna's art practice focuses on mental health and is inspired by abstract shapes and bright colors. Her Balloons and Bubbles of Hope series explores the delicate balance between hope and despair. Her Calling Names series shares her experience of being hurt by labels. Looking at her work, I can feel the darkness of some of the pieces and the hope and joy in others. I look forward to talking to Anna and learning more about her work. Let's go meet Anna. Anna, it is so nice to meet you and just hear you talk about your work. You've got some interesting things here, lots of color and movement. I'm really looking forward to talking to you about your work.
Nice to meet you, Randy, as well. Thank you for interviewing me. This is a great opportunity for me and a first-time experience.
Great, great. So now the first two pictures we're going to look at, they're kind of a pair, I understand, and they are sort of examples of the journey that you've gone through in terms of mental health, which is part of what the theme of your show is about.
Yes.
Can you kind of explain? The first one is Self-Portrait Myself. What is it about?
Well, as you said, they come as two, and this one represents myself more before my mental health condition evolved, and this is more like me throughout the process. And in this picture, it sort of represents my character and my life before things happened, and there are bold shapes, bright colors, and this is probably how I felt before things started happening.
And then now the second one.
And the second one is a second print that I pulled from the same plate, and it's more faded, and the shapes are kind of, some of them are just absent and some of them are pretty pale, and this sort of reflects how I felt through my mental health condition.
That is so awesome. I think it's so neat how you came to, like they do. I really can see that. It's really, life is crisp and bright in the first one.
Yes.
And in the second one, we have these murky shapes. Some of them are a little bit clear, but they kind of disappear. And I think, yeah, when you're trying to visualize that, that's cool, eh? How that worked out.
Yes, and that kind of happened in a way on its own in the process. As I pulled the first plate, the colors are bright, and as I do not apply new color, and I pull a second print using the same plate, and here it is, it comes, these two things, they come together and they resemble my life very much.
Yeah, and this is mono prints. We should just mention that for people,
Yes.
that where you really only get one really crisp print, and that's why, hence the mono, right?
Yes.
Yes. But I've done some mono prints too, and like you, sometimes the second print is actually more interesting.
Yes, and there could be a third and a fourth, and probably even a fifth.
And each one paler and paler.
Different, it could be adjusted.
Yeah, some of the colors are now gone, yes. Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Monoprints are...
It's unpredictable, it's fun, and
yeah.
It can bring a picture that no one expects, and it might be very interesting.
Right, right. I must admit that I use it more as backgrounds. I love to impose my realistic drawings on top of that abstract shape and have them work together. So yes, I totally get what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, let's go look at some of your other work.
Okay.
Well, these pictures are just what we were talking about, aren't they? They're the second, third, or fourth pull off of that monoprint.
Yes.
Yeah, feeling cold. What is it that attracted you? Because really, you pulled that print off and you didn't throw it away.
Yes.
Why didn't you?
I did not throw it away, you're right. It was actually the leftover on the plexiglass after I pulled another print, and normally it's probably something to be cleaned up. However, it just looked interesting, even though it was black and white. The difference between the shades of the black and the palest of some of them, and a little bit darker black left over of other pieces, they seem to interact quite interesting to me, and I couldn't quite discard it. Plus the stencils that I used for other monotypes, and I print several of them at the same time, they seem to have really nice color leftovers on the opposite side. So I combined the leftover from one of the print with the stencils that had some color left over, and in a way it was quite random. And then I pulled it through the press, and this is the random moment that came out of it. It's really, I found it mesmerizing. There are some choices that an artist makes, but there is a lot of chance in it.
Yes, yes, and don't forget, you choose. Let's look at the other one. There's one right behind you there too, and it's another one that's probably a second, third pull.
Yes.
And yes, we can see the same kind of thing, can't we?
Yes, it's a very similar situation where there is a black and white left over from the background for another monotype, and then again some stencils that are left that have some surprising leftover, unexpected colors, like black with blue, that I didn't really intend to be there, but they seemed nice, and it was very hard to put it in the garbage, so
oh yes,
I turned them upside down and I overlaid them with the black shapes that were creating that sense of depth, and then this color popped out really at you. And again, it's so much of it is a chance.
Now, so do some of the pigments kind of, so like if, when you have a color that's mixed pigments, so do some of the, like one pigment still be there and the other pigment has sort of disappeared? So even though it might start out as a blue, it becomes a purple or a teal or something like that. That is really cool, eh? So there's lots of surprises when you lift it, isn't it?
Yeah, right here. And you are a person who knows monotype, you would know. So over here on the edge, another pigment leaks through into the stencil, and it leaves some little residue over here as well.
Right.
And then it kind of creates this strange edges, or here it looks green when in fact it's yellow mixed with black.
Right,
Yes,
right,
it
yes,
does
yes.
work that way.
It's, you know, I work in watercolor, and it's very much like that. You know, watercolor has a lot of surprises to it too, and some of them are good and some of them aren't. And yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's look at your newest series. Let's go look at it now.
Okay.
So this is the series that you're now working on, and it's called Calling Names. You were telling me quite a bit about how it works, and I think this is really cool. Calling names, what does that mean?
Well, it's a reflection on my experience being called names and being judged. And I do understand people are entitled to their opinion, and this was in a way my reaction to that opinion, and a way to heal and a way to express my anger, I guess, and then heal it over. So
Okay, so let's look at the first piece now and sort of explain how, because I think that's so neat how you've tied your work into that whole process.
yeah.
So this first piece is about,
Yes, it was a coping mechanism in a way, and the first piece is the brightest as usual in monotype, and the background colors are the most saturated and bright, and then this is how I normally feel, right? And then the next print that I pulled from the same plate is the background is paler, and this is how I feel when people call names and label me in some way. And it kind of, the more you think about it, makes you feel more sad and paler, and it's kind of just a shadow of yourself. But then the way the healing process works and the way my art worked out is that I put back the color and I restored it pale and sad feeling with the more bright, more saturated fun elements that have all this bright blue, red, green, or these sparkly elements. And because I put them back, it's virtually impossible to tell which one is which one. In the process, they end up being quite cheerful and happy, all of them, even though in the process, the original process was reflecting on some, I guess, not very comfortable experience.
That is so awesome. I think too it's interesting in that when you look at it, you change. And I think that's true too. The experience does change you, and I guess it's up to you whether you make it a positive or negative change. And so rebuilding, I like that whole rebuilding idea with
yes,
it. Yeah.
It's a coping mechanism in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it happened to me, and things do happen in life. But this artistic process helps to put it behind and to make peace with it. Okay, well, it happened.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's so neat. So Anna, I've really enjoyed talking to you today about your work. Where is your work going now? What's going to happen after this show?
Well, I do have 2 more shows in Lower Mainland with the City of Coquitlam and City of Lanley, and it will be the same collection of monotypes that will go for that show, and hopefully my life permits me to continue taking art courses, and hopefully in the long run it will result in possibly a degree, kind of open to that possibility. So yeah, I guess wherever life takes me.
That's awesome, that's neat. So I'll look forward to seeing your work in the future, and I'm sure I'll run into you again. And very nice to chat with you today and learn more about your work.
Nice to talk to you too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Anna, for sharing your ideas and art with me today. I really enjoyed learning about your passion and how you project it into your work. Anna's show can be seen here at the Newton Cultural Centre until February 28th, 2025, or online at the artscouncilofsurrey.ca.